And it isn't just legal experts raising concerns with DJS. Carroll County Sheriff Jim DeWees is taking aim at DJS Secretary Vincent Schiraldi for allegedly allowing a violent teen to slip through the cracks. Yesterday, officials announced the arrest of 19-year-old Daris Bond in connection with a hit and run that killed 55-year-old Terry Crowl last year. The sheriff says he holds Schiraldi responsible for Crowl's death.
He's no longer a political liability for the governor. He's a public safety risk for the governor.
And now tonight, outrage over Bond's criminal history is prompting new questions about who should have control of consequences for juvenile offenders.
Alexa Ashwell took that question to a legal expert. She joins us live in studio with more. Alexa?
That's right, Vincent Kai. The Department of Juvenile Services has been under heavy scrutiny for years now. That hasn't changed, and so some say the laws need to.
You are all indirectly responsible for Mr. Crowl's death.
Carroll County Sheriff Jim DeWees, the latest member of law enforcement to call for change in Annapolis and within the Department of Juvenile Services after announcing the indictment of Daris Bond for the hit-and-run crash that killed Taneytown husband and father Terry Crowl last August. Bond, at just 19, is connected to crimes in at least 4 different jurisdictions, and according to the sheriff, was well known to law enforcement as a juvenile.
The state's just got to get better at what they're doing and stop coddling people and really recognize the issue and talk to the experts about it. The numbers that Mr. Schiraldi gives are, it's voodoo. He's just making stuff up. It's a shame. But he's just simply doing a poor job, and the governor needs to change leadership there.
That was the sheriff's response when asked if it's time for local jurisdictions to step in.
In your opinion, is it time for local jurisdictions to take control when it comes to consequences for juveniles?
Legal expert Jeremy Eldridge says such a change would require action from lawmakers.
In order for the county itself, as opposed to the state, to have complete autonomy when it comes to deciding what consequences are appropriate for a juvenile offender, that would require legislators in Annapolis to change the law.
As it stands, Eldridge says judges have some independent control over consequences, including how frequently an individual is reporting to the court, but specified terms of confinement and terms of probation are out of their hands.
Any decisions regarding the length of confinement at a juvenile detention facility or terms of probation are not within the hands of the judge.
Ultimately, Eldridge believes it's a move lawmakers are unlikely to make.
It is incredibly unlikely that the legislature will allow county judges or county magistrates the ability to be autonomous, meaning make independent decisions that are not in conformity with the Department of Juvenile Services.
Meanwhile, back in Carroll County, the family of Terry Crowl echoing the sheriff's frustration.
It is incredibly frustrating to deal with a system that seems to favor the criminals.
Daris Bond didn't just show up at the age of 18 years. I know he didn't because I know his track record. He didn't just show up at the age of 18 years old and 6 months and start running around with handguns, being involved in organized crime, stealing cars, killing people. Bond is half of the problem in our system. The other half of the problem is any delegate or senator that passed legislation to make it difficult to hold individuals like Mr. Bond accountable for their criminal activity. The governor for signing legislation that makes us all less safer. The DJS secretary for doing such a poor job with violent juvenile offenders.
Bond remains in custody, which is where the sheriff argues he should have remained before Mr. Crowl's death. He's due back in court next month. Alexa Ashwell, Fox 45 News.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.